Hey guys, so today apparently I am a mod reviewer, but there's a twist, and this isn't boring. I'm ranking the classes and origins in the Origins mod. So, of course, we're gonna start with the basics. Human. This gives you really nothing, so I'll put it in C tier. Same with Nitwit. That's the classes. We'll get to those after we get through the origins. So C is what you originally have. So here on this world that I created, I just chose human and nitwit, meaning there's nothing special right now. This is just regular Minecraft. But if I go into the miscellaneous inventory, I have this Orb of Origin, and what this does, you are able to change your origin after you've already chosen, and you can only get an Orb of Origin in creative mode. Avian. Featherweight. You fall as gently to the ground as a feather would, unless you sneak. When sleeping, your bed needs to be at an altitude of at least 86 blocks so you can breathe fresh air. Tailwind, you are a little bit quicker on foot than others, and the only downside is you can't digest any meat. So let me just select that really quick. Now I am the avian. No visual changes, but if I fall off the tree, I'm falling slowly. And the only way to fall regularly is to crouch. And you'll see that you do run ever so slightly quicker than everyone else. So yeah, we'll put Avian in B tier because it's not that good, but it's also not that bad. Next up is Arachnid. You're able to climb up any kind of wall, not just ladders. When you hit an enemy in melee, they get stuck in a cobweb. Carnivore. Your diet is restricted to meat. You can't eat vegetables, which is the opposite of avian. But you're fragile, so you have 3 less hearts than humans. So you'll see that I have 7 hearts in my inventory, but I can go up to any block and just climb it. So that's pretty good. And now you'll see if I punch a mob, a cobweb appears. It eventually does disappear, and I have to wait for the bar to go back up to use the cobweb again. If that disappears, the cobweb won't appear until the bar goes back up. So for Arachnid, I'm going to put it in B tier because it's pretty much the same as avian in balancing wise. It's pretty good. It's very good for PvP and hunting down animals. The only downside is 3 hearts, and that's not too bad. Winged. You have elytra wings without needing to equip any. Every 30 seconds, you're able to launch about 20 blocks up into the air. You deal substantially more damage while in elytra flight. You cannot wear any heavy armor with protection values higher than chainmail. Claustrophobia. Being somewhere with a low ceiling for too long will weaken you and make you slower. You take more damage from falling and flying into blocks. You see I have my hearts back. You can eat anything, which is a pretty good upside to the Elytrion, but I have wings on me without having to wear any. And if I press G on my keyboard, it launches me up into the air, where I can then press space and glide. And your wings don't disappear. And I don't even have to use the boost if I want to deal more damage while flying. Now that the bar is filled back up, let me use it, and then I won't deploy my wings. And I took a ton of fall damage. So if you don't use your wings correctly, you're gonna get really hurt. Now that I have all the armor, let's try leather. You can wear leather. Chainmail. You can wear chainmail. And you can wear gold. Armor? Nope. Can't wear that. I am spam clicking right now and it won't let me put it on. Can't wear diamonds. And you can't wear netherite either. So overall, the Elytrion is pretty good. It has the wings. The biggest downside that I can see is the taking more damage when you fall or run into a block while gliding. But you have an Elytra, so you're able to get around that pretty easily. Alright, next up we have Shulk. You have access to an additional 9 slots of inventory, which keep the items on death. Even without wearing armor, your skin provides natural protection. You are strong enough to break natural stones without using a pickaxe. The way your hands are formed provide no way of holding a shield upright. And large appetite. You exhaust much quicker than others, thus requiring you to eat more. So now I am the Shulk. If I press G, it opens up my Shulker inventory. If I die, any item in this Shulker inventory will stay with me after death. Go into survival mode and you see that even though I have no armor on, I have 4 armor slots already filled in. That means that if I have even 3 pieces of iron armor, I'll have the same defense as full diamond. And now if I go over here to the stone, I can punch it with my hand, which is neat. You can't punch cobblestone though, because it's only natural stones. It works with granite too. So this is one of those abilities that is pretty cool when you first see it, but in practice it's not really that useful because you can just punch some wood and make a wooden pickaxe to break that stone. The inventory though, and the armor are very good. I don't think that having to eat more is really too much of a downside. So we'll put Shulk in A tier. The inventory space is really, really good, but the stone punching and the not being able to use shields kind of has a bit too much of a downside to make it S tier. Up next we have Feline. You never take fall damage, no matter from which height you fall, which is kind of like the Avian, because the Avian falls slowly. This one doesn't fall slowly, but you just don't take fall damage. You're able to jump higher by jumping while sprinting. You have 1 less heart than the health of humans, so you have 9 hearts, 9 lives. Weak arms. When not under the effect of a strength potion, you can only mine natural stone if there are at most 2 other natural stone blocks adjacent to it. Creepers are scared of you and will only explode if you attack them first, which is very good. And you can see in the dark when not in the water. So now I'm the cat. I don't have armor, and I don't have any armor slots, and I have only 9 hearts, which makes it a little bit harder. As you can see, I have the normal jump, but whenever I'm sprinting and I jump, I actually jump 2 blocks high. So, regular jump, you cannot get there, but if you take a running start, you're able to easily scale something this high. And you're probably able to tell by the sky, but it's nighttime right now, and I can see perfectly. If I go over to these natural blocks, I can't break them. For some reason, you can break coal. You can't break those blocks. So I'll put Feline in B. Nah, it's an A. This is an easy A, because you take absolutely no fall damage at all, and that's really good. Next up is one that, it's the first one that comes with the extra mod that adds more. Fluorine. You are basically a plant. You are saturated by being exposed to sunlight or drinking liquid sunlight, which can be collected by using a glass bottle on a daylight detector. You regenerate health and deal more damage when wet. You take twice as much damage from fire. You're unable to eat anything. So if I select this, I will automatically gain food from just standing out in the sun. Now that I have these hearts, if I rush over to the water, I will regenerate them even quicker. You don't have to eat anything, ever. And if you eventually get a daylight detector, you can just place that down and use glass bottles to get liquid sunlight. So now it is almost nighttime, and I cannot collect any more liquid sunlight from the daylight sensor. And this means that the liquid sunlight that I have right now is my only source of food. So as you see, I have lost a hunger point, and that means that I'm not regenerating any health right now. But that doesn't mean that I can just eat some food to fix it. No, it doesn't let me eat food at all. So you have to have this liquid sunlight with you, and once you drink it, it's just like absorbing the sun. You are back to full hunger, and you heal right up. So you just want to be careful during the nighttime to make sure you have all the liquid sunlight you need. And caves. Yeah, watch out for the caves. So Fluorine, pretty easy A tier. It would be S tier if you could also eat things. You have to get all the way to the nether to get some quartz to make a daylight sensor. And Florines take 2 times the amount of damage from fire. So the nether is not the place that they want to be. Up next is back to the original mod, Elytrion. You may throw an ender pearl, which deals no damage, allowing you to teleport. You receive damage over time when in contact in the water. Scared of gourds. You are afraid of pumpkins, for a good reason. Slender body, you can reach blocks and entities further away. I am now the Elytrion. So if I press G, G is the special key to activate any special abilities. It throws an ender pearl. I overshot it. And I accidentally teleported in the water, and I am getting hurt because I am an enderman. And I didn't mean to make it nighttime either. Alright. Elytrions can eat whatever they want, which is a pretty good upside. And even when I'm standing this far away, I can break that wood. Creepers can't even blow up. They can't even get close enough. So Elytrion, it's really good. Goes more in the A tier. Its abilities aren't good enough to put it in S tier, but it's a solid A. Next up we have the Merling. You can breathe underwater, but not on land. Your vision underwater is perfect. You may break blocks underwater as others do on land. Your underwater speed is increased. When underwater, you do not sink to the ground unless you want to. So if I select this one, I'll go into survival mode, and you see that I have bubbles counting down because I'm on land. I better get to the water quick or I'll start drowning. And drowning on land is just the same as drowning in water. You can swim really quickly, you have really good vision, and you mine blocks just as fast as you would on land. I'm gonna put the fish, Merling, in an S tier. There aren't any downsides except for not being able to be on land. And you're able to survive in the water. So there's really no problem with being a fish. Alright, up next we have the second one that comes with the extra mod pack, the Glass Golem. So, your skin is translucent, you are inorganic, so you're immune to most environmental damage, sources, and starving. Cannot have potion effects, You do not need to eat. However, your food level is always 0. You have passive health regeneration, slowly. You are immune to all types of fire damage. You deal and take twice as much damage. And you are unable to eat anything. So, visual change, like the very first visual change, you become translucent. You are kind of see-through. And if I go into survival mode, you have no hunger at all. And that means, with no hunger, no sprinting. So even though you try really hard to sprint, you can just walk. And you can't eat to fix it either. Although, you can't drown, but you're very slow because you cannot swim. And you're immune to every kind of fire. So if I put down a bucket of lava, you can just walk straight through that. It's good that you deal twice the amount of damage, but you take twice the amount of damage. So that fall usually would have done like 2 hearts, but now it did like 6. Here, let me just slowly walk up to this cow. Powerful punches, and the cow is already dead. You can't do anything with the beef though, so kinda useless. So for Glass Golem, I'm gonna put it in B. You are very strong, and you don't take any fire damage, which is very good, and you can't drown, and you can't get hurt by potions. So your defense is kinda good, but if you are attacked by a mob, you will die twice as fast, and you can't run away from that mob. So that's what puts the Glass Golem in B tier. Alright, next up we got the Inchling. This is another one that you will not have if you don't download the extra mods. So, you're bite-sized. You're 4 times smaller than a regular person, and this size makes it harder for monsters to detect you. You have 5 less hearts, and deal 3 less damage, and you have 1 less attack range, and 2 less build range. Additionally, cacti and sweetberry bushes are too large to hurt you. You require less food to keep going. You are immune to velocity-based damage. You are able to climb up any kind of wall, not just ladders. So as the Inchling, you are tiny. Video about this soon. You can walk under 1 block gaps. And look at this fern. This fern is taller than you. That's insane. I have 5 hearts, which is crazy, and pretty much the opposite of the Enderman. You can't even break a block that's 1 block away from you. Wow. And you're always tiny, so yeah. But just like the Arachnid class, you can climb straight up walls. All you have to do is hold W. And just like the cat class, you don't take any fall damage. So that's pretty cool. I think the Inchling though has a downfall when it comes to the size and the hearts. Because I can't play Inchling for very long before getting very discombobulated, and with only 5 hearts, it would not be hard to die to any kind of mob. So, I put it in C tier. Up next is another one of the extra ones, the Piglin. You are adept at using gold tools and armor, making them last much longer. Golden tools do 2 extra damage, and golden armor reduces damage taken by 8% for each armor piece equipped. Piglins do not attack you unless provoked. Brutes will still attack on sight. You deal twice as much damage with crossbows. When outside of the nether, you zombify, becoming undead and immune to fire, but slower. Your natural nether spawn will be in the nether. Your diet is restricted to meat. you can't eat vegetables. Your flesh is softer, reducing your health by 2 hearts. You are afraid of soulfire, becoming weak when near it. Alright, so since I am not in the nether right now, I have slowness 2, and I am considered zombie piglin right now. Alright, and now I'm not slow anymore. This is my home. This is probably a really bad spawning point, but usually if you picked Piglin, you would just be here without the portal. Right now you see I have 2 less hearts, and since I am stuck on this platform, I will go into creative mode really quick, and I will fly over here. So, I'm not wearing any gold armor, but this Piglin is not attacking me. And when you're in the nether, you're not fireproof. If you want to be fireproof, you gotta go to the overworld. Ow. Alright, so now that I'm back in the overworld, slowness and fire resistance. Yep, Piglin is very good. That's a joke. So for the Piglin, it seems like it would do a bit better, but really the other tools are a lot better of a choice. So I'm gonna put this in B tier. Maybe you'll choose it because you'll deal twice as much damage with a crossbow, but if you're not in the nether, you are very slow. Alright, next up we have the better version of Piglin, Blazeborn. You are immune to all types of fire damage. You naturally spawn in the nether. When on fire, you deal additional damage with your attacks. Due to your hot body, venom burns up, making you immune to poison and hunger status effects. But you receive damage over time while in contact with the water. So as Blazeborn, you can eat whatever you want. That's a pretty good thing. You don't get damaged by fire. In fact, you do even more damage when you're on fire. And if you create a new world and become Blazeborn, you will spawn in the nether with no portal. You'll have to figure out how to get out by your wit. But when you're in the water, you get hurt, just like the Enderman. Alright, so yeah, the Blazeborn goes to an A tier. It's the better Piglin because you can use other weapons and, you know, you're immune to fire all the time, but you're able to run all the time. So, Blazeborn is A tier. And we come to the last one of the origins, Phantom. Your skin is translucent. While phantomized, you can walk through solid material except obsidian. While phantomized, you are invisible. You begin to burn in the daylight if you are not invisible. Being phantomized causes you to become hungry, and you have 3 less hearts than humans. So, as a phantom, you are pretty much invisible, kind of like the glass golem. And since it's daytime, I have to be under this tree, or else I will burn. As evidenced by me burning. You can eat whatever you want. You don't have to be carnivorous. You only have 7 hearts, which isn't the best, but if you press G, you go into phantom mode, and you can walk through any blocks. Meaning that you can find easy caves and get diamonds easily. So, back at the wall that I had made earlier, you can just walk straight through, no questions asked. Of course, if you press G again, you'll go back to normal, and then you cannot walk under the wall. If you want to walk around during the sunlight, you become invisible, and then you can walk around. And being invisible takes a lot of hunger from you. So you're very much a night crawler. Phantom is an S tier. Why? Because you can go mining easily, just become invisible, and you find a cave, and then you don't burn in the sunlight. As long as you have food with you and some roofing, then you're safe. Now, if you want to fight something, you might want to not, because you only have 7 hearts, but you can just become phantomized and walk through a wall away. So, it's pretty good, S tier. Okay, now getting into classes. Start with the first one, Farmer. The Farmer has the ability Bountiful Harvest. You have the chance to receive twice the amount of food when you harvest it, and Bone Meal does twice the amount. For the Rancher, you have the chance to produce 2 babies whenever you breed an animal, and you harvest more from killing animals. Miner, you mine stone material quicker than others, and breaking blocks doesn't cause you to exhaust. It doesn't add that much, but it's a little bit higher. Lumberjack, you can cut down whole trees at once unless you sneak, and you gain 2 more wooden planks from a single log when crafting. This one is very useful. And now the Cook. Food crafted by you is more saturating, means that you'll collect more hearts, and you receive more experience from cooking in the food smoker. So, pretty good. It doesn't add that much more. Blacksmith. Equipment you create provides small buffs, and repairing equipment in an anvil costs less material. Repairing by combining equipment restores more durability. So this one's pretty good. It adds quite a bit to the game. Not enough to be S tier. I'd actually say that the Rancher is S tier. Next is the Cleric. As a last step in potion brewing, you can double a potion's duration with water from a cauldron. And you are able to produce better enchantments at an enchantment table. Now, I haven't tested this one out directly, but that's an S tier in my books. You could make a strength 2 potion, which usually lasts about a minute and a half, and you could make it last 3 minutes. Next we have the Merchant. Villagers you trade with never run out of resources to trade for you, and you are able to convince wandering traders to offer you some of their rarer items. This one, another S tier. Explorer. You start the game with a compass, a clock, and 9 empty maps. This, in itself, wouldn't be too crazy, because you can get all that stuff. But sprinting doesn't cause you to lose hunger. So that is an A tier. Here's Warrior. Able to use each weapon to its fullest potential. You deal a bit more damage. You are slowed down less when protecting yourself with a shield. So this one's very good for fighting. If you combine it with the Glass Golem, might be pretty good. That's an A. Archer. Right here it says 1 shot, 1 kill. That is not true. All of your projectiles have increased accuracy, whether crossbow or bow, and you can move quicker than others while drawing your bow, so you have quick charge on all of your things. Here's Rogue. Your nameplate is never visible through walls, even when you're not sneaking. When you have been sneaking for 10 seconds, you enter Stealth. While in Stealth, you make less sound and deal extra damage when attacking an enemy from behind. You exit Stealth when you stop sneaking or attack an enemy. Rogue would be very good for a multiplayer server, because you can sneak up behind someone. But it's not that great on your own survival world, so it kind of counteracts itself. And here's Beastmaster, the animal owner's dream. Animals you tame receive a permanent buff to their health and strength. Your nearby tamed animals also receive potion effects when you drink a potion. So you could give them speed, you could give them strength. If you drink the potion, then they get the potion if they're near. Beastmaster goes into A. Another thing to note is that there's one new enchantment called Water Protection. This is for Enderman and Blaze people, so they take less damage from the water. Well, that's the Origins mod. I tried my best to cover pretty much everything, and I even covered the add-ons. There are originally 9, and there are pretty much like 5 extra. And then there's the classes. Ah, rain. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I can do something with this mod pretty soon. And bye-bye.